Coming to you live from the firstandmonday.com studios in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. This is the fam.com podcast, episode number 8. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on what time of day this podcast is getting all nice and cozy in your little earbuds. I am your host, Bruce Harris. You are on firstofmonday.com, and this is our podcast, episode number 8, Ocho. As always, if you want to get in touch with the show, you can find us on Twitter at First of Monday. You can hit me up personally on the Gmail, the Bruce Harris at Gmail. You can hit up First of Monday at Gmail. And what we like most of all is some wonderful little comments left on our message board. You're probably looking at firstofmonday.com, the website right now, because the alternative is work. So check out the message board. Get involved in some threads. Leave some comments. Do some trolling. Post some GIFs. We like it all. And the big news this week out of the fam.com camp is that the website has officially launched. Well, a soft launch, that is. You know, we're going to bring in, just like opening up a restaurant, we're going to bring in some customers, feed them for free. Let us see how the menu works. Let's find out what works, what doesn't work, what needs to be tweaked, how the dishwasher Enrique's doing, how the chef's doing. That's what we're doing right now, a little soft launch this week. So if you're one of the people that got invited, consider yourself lucky, but also know that this is just the beginning. Send us your feedback, your comments, your concerns, your criticisms. That's what we're looking for during the soft launch, so that when we finally go live and we go in dry on the world of the interwebs, we'll have everything as near perfect as it can be, and that's going to be thanks to your input. Now, one of the first things we're going to talk about on this week's episode, it's been a big topic this year in the NFL. I think it started gaining steam over the past couple of seasons, and you hear all the talking heads mentioning it. Safety in football, especially at the highest level in the pros, where the stakes are higher, the players are faster, meaner, bigger, stronger. And the thing you got to protect the most, no one wants their knee blown out. I understand that. But a concussion, that's something that can have long-reaching, long-term impact for the rest of your life. You get your knee blown out, you'll probably come back the next season. Worst case, you may never play again. You might be walking with a cane. Maybe you get an infection while they're doing your surgery. Maybe they have to hack off your leg, Civil War style. But you're still going to be of clear mind and clear eyes. However, you get your head concussed one too many times. You're not going to like it, my friends. You're going to wind up like Junior Seau with incurable depression. Shoot yourself in the chest with a shotgun. Why did he do that? So that doctors would be able to examine his brain, so they'd be able to spread the word that, hey, something needs to change, something is wrong. Now, I'm as big of a football fan as you'll find. I do not say abolish the sport. I say let's find a way to make it safer. With all the technology out there, there has to be some way to make these helmets safer for the players so they do not get the same amount of concussions. Targeting rules, changing the rules, nah, that's not going to work. All right? This is a man's game. It's a gladiator's game. Aggression is part of it. You're going to get popped. You're going to get hit. But I think we have the technology to make these helmets safe enough that you can avoid the amount of concussions that'll leave you a vegetable. Nobody wants to be a potato later on in life. Potatoes do not live their golden years out in a condo on Miami Beach. No, my friends, potatoes live in the crisper. It's cold and dark. Not that wet because it's a crisper, so it's humidity controlled. But nonetheless, you do not want to live out your golden years as a potato. Now, to tie this whole topic together, speaking of living out the golden years, we have a guest on the firstofmonday.com hotline. He played way back in the day. In fact, I'm looking at a picture of him on the 1926 Canton Bulldogs, one of, if not the original NFL, well, before the NFL, let's just say professional football franchises. Yes, on the phone today, we've got an actual living member of the 26 Canton Bulldogs. if you would, please welcome to the podcast, Mr. P.C. Crisp. Mr. Crisp, how are you today, sir?
Hello, Bruce?
Yes, sir.
Bruce?
Yes, I'm here.
Bruce Carroll?
No, this is Bruce Harris.
Still owe me $5, you bastard.
No, Mr. Crisp, you're on our podcast, First and Monday.
I played with Norb Harris. Are you his kin?
No, I don't believe that I am. But you are on the podcast. Thanks for joining us today.
Bruce?
Can you hear me?
Bruce Carroll?
No, Mr. Crisp. This is Bruce Harris, and you're on our podcast on firstonmonday.com. And we wanted to have you on this week to talk about, first of all, the glory days playing for the Canton Bulldogs.
Being a Canton Bulldog was a glorious time of my life. As a young man, the compadre we felt. We had a great group of lads. Swede Youngstrom, he was a Swede. Dutch Wallace, he was a Dutch. And his brother, Blondie Wallace, was a Blondie. Jim Thorpe was an Indian. And even Tarzan Taylor.
Tarzan Taylor is a name I had not heard before. Tell us, Mr. Chris, what kind of offense did you run there?
Time to brush your hair.
There's also Ducky Tarrant, the Van Almen brothers, Dick, Eddie, and Norm. They were Van Almens.
I think I have one of their CDs.
We had Greasy Nail and Roscoe Oberlin and Bird Carroll. He was Italian. Not Bird. Greasy Nail, I mean. And we had Cap Edwards and Milt McGee.
Okay, well, let's talk about that 1926 team. Through my research, I see you guys only finished 1, 9, and 3 on the year. Yes, I'm here.
Bruce. Those Akron Indians were hell to play. They tied us zip twice that year. And then the New York Giants also tied us 7-7. I blame Greasy Neal and Blondie Wallace. He was Italian. Greasy was.
Now, I see here that the one game you guys actually did win that season was against Louisville. Looks like you beat them 13 to...
We beat the living piss out of the Louisville Colonels, 35-0.
Well, Wikipedia says 13 to nothing.
Hey, Mr. Chris. Time for some baby powder.
We were up 20-0 and a half and mailed it
The
in.
only 35-0 score I see that year is when you played at the Bears and lost 35-0.
And then we also tarred and feathered the Los Angeles Buccaneers that year.
No, I'm reading you lost that game 16-13.
And we made the Providence Steamrollers our little Nancy's 42-2.
No, I'm pretty sure they beat you 21-2. Yeah, pretty sure you only won one game that season. But anyway, PC Crisp is our guest. He was a member of the 1926 Canton Bulldogs. He's been kind enough to join us on the firstonmonday.com podcast. All right, Mr. Crisp, not sure how much modern-day football you're able to watch in your current state, but we wanted to talk about head trauma on today's show. Now, back then, you guys wore what, the leather helmets?
Oh, I didn't wear a helmet if the referee wasn't looking, which was most of the time.
Okay, Mr. Chris, time to change your diaper.
Wow, did you suffer any concussions?
Bruce?
Yes, I'm here.
Bruce?
Can you hear me?
Bruce, I did get my bell rung once or twice, but that was the extent. What was more troublesome was getting an ankle hepatitis if the referee wasn't watching.
Ankle hepatitis?
Which is most of the time.
What's that?
That's when we got a dog pile on top of us. And ankle hepatitis is when the ankle was driven straight into the hip.
Wow, that sounds painful. Did he hang up? Okay, I guess he's gone. All right, well, that was interesting. PC Crisp, Canton Bulldog, 1926 team. Thank you for joining us on the podcast, sir. We appreciate your time. And that music means it's time for this week's FirstOfMonday.com Champion of the Week. The story comes to us from Channel 11 in Dallas-Fort Worth, the CBS affiliate, who reported a story about some clown who got struck by lightning twice. And I'm not flaming him when I say he's a clown. He actually is. He's a rodeo clown. His name is Casey Wagner, and he was attending a event there called Rednecks with Paychecks. That's it. That's the punchline. And he's 31. He works as a rodeo clown. He was attending this off-road racing event in St. Joe, Texas. Once again, it's called Rednecks with Paychecks. I'm not making that up. And he was struck by lightning not once, but 2 times.
This is by far the closest to death I've ever been.
Well, as a rodeo clown, I think he faces death at work when he's trying to get a Brahmin bull off of somebody.
What I remember is just loud boom, and it dropped me to my knees. And then right when I was going to my knees, it hit me again. When I got hit, it was just 2 big old flashes, and then sparks went everywhere.
2 big old flashes and sparks everywhere.
And then shot up through here, and then went across my chest and came out about right here. I had like discoloration where it would have popped out.
Now, lightning's no joke, y'all. I mean, this guy is a champ for surviving a double shot.
At the hospital, they said the poncho I was wearing was carrying static because it was one of those plastic ones or whatever.
That brings up a good point. Don't skimp on the cheap ponchos, all right? I mean, you got a paycheck, obviously. You're a redneck with a paycheck. You know, get one of them fancy Mexican ponchos, all right? I mean, they sell them at the gas stations and the flea markets. I've got to be sure of that.
I've got all the feeling back. It just feels like my whole body's waking up from, like if your arm falls asleep. Sure. And that's what the whole body feels like right about now.
You ever give yourself the stranger? That's when you sit on your hand until it falls asleep, and then you bap with it. This way it feels like strangers jerking you off. This guy could do it with both hands. Maybe that was God's intent to give this guy the double stranger.
I give everything to God. I owe everything to him. He's the one that kept me alive.
Indeed. And as I said, giving you the temporary ability to pull off the very difficult to do double stranger. For that and so much more, Casey Wagner, you are fam.com's champion of the week. All right, and that 12-bar blues must mean it's time for the fam.com's Asshole of the Week. This week's proud recipient is former Washington Redskins, former Oklahoma State Cowboy, defensive lineman, Dexter Manley. Now, sometimes you got to take it easy on old Manley. He did have brain surgery several years back, so sometimes he has lapses of memory, and more recently, apparently a lapse of judgment. It's funny, he had a cyst in his brain. He only found out about it after he collapsed after a hard night of doing drugs. In fact, that's why he was kicked out of the league for failing too many drug tests. Now, going back to his days of playing at Oklahoma State, he was once quoted as saying he was functionally illiterate in college. Way to brag about that, Dexter. Anyway, he was recently on a radio program discussing his beloved Redskins and their most recent loss. There's been several of them this year. They pretty much suck. Thanks, Shanahan. And as they were wrapping up the interview, which had gone smoothly up until this point, one of the radio hosts asked him if he thought that having Troy Aikman do the TV broadcast was a jinx on the Redskins. To which Manley blurted out, quote, "I think Troy Aikman is a queer." Now, Dexter, first of all, it's pretty much common knowledge that Troy Aikman is leading a double life, that he married a woman just to be his beard,
Allegedly.
and that he actually is a homosexual. And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that in this day and age. But here's the thing, Dexter, we don't call homosexuals queers anymore, okay? We call them gay men, or we call them homosexuals, all right? It's perfectly okay for him to live that lifestyle. Him and many others. Jeff Garcia, for instance.
Allegedly.
Great player. Great homosexual. More recently, Kerry Rhodes.
Allegedly.
Great safety. Great gay man. So maybe, just maybe, Mr. Secretary of Defense, it's time for you to start picking up what society has been laying down. And just because you are proud of your functional illiteracy is no reason for you to ignore what's going on in the world today and to be so uncouth. Dexter Manley, it's time that you opened your eyes, my brother. I mean, I don't hear Charles Mann in the news making gay slurs. I don't hear Darryl Green, fastest man alive, having to talk himself out of a corner. I don't hear Hall of Fame wide receiver Art Monk, the great Art Monk, making homophobic statements. And last but not least, I guarantee you will never hear Mark Rippon say a disparaging word about the homosexuals. So, Mr. Dexter Manley, we do not need your hate speech around here. We do not need your narrow-minded views. We do not need the thinking of yesteryear. Mr. Manley, this is the year 2013. Maybe your colloid cyst made you forget all about that, all right? But it is not cool to call Troy Aikman, as gay as he may be, a queer. And for your choice of words and for your narrow-mindedness, sir, you have earned yourself the award of this week's Fam.com Asshole of the Week. All right, and that's going to lead us into this week's new music segment. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know we like to feature a new band every week, give you guys something new to listen to, something you might not have heard anywhere else but here. And this week we'd like to... Oh, hold on a second. He's on the phone right now? For real? Okay. I don't think he wants any of this, but we'll bring him on. I've just been told that we actually have a guest on our hotline right now that wants to talk about the last segment. Shocker. Well, let's just go right to him. Dexter Manley, you're on the air.
Hello, Bruce. This is Mr. Manley. I must say I am quite upset at being named Mr. Asshole of the Week for your FirstandMonday.com.
Well, Dexter, to be honest with you, I think the public is really upset with you right now, bro, for your recent hate speech.
Hate speech? I do not do no hate speech to nobody, no harm. As you mentioned, I have a form of functional illiteracy, and it results in me not knowing what I'm saying at times. And also, Bruce, I have another quarrel.
Okay, what's that?
As you may have heard, the NFL has a problem with brain injuries. And I believe my brain issues and cysts and assistance is a result of taking blows to the head while playing, not drugs.
All right, but let's make sure you understand the issue here. What everyone's upset about is your recent comments about Troy Aikman. All right, now, even though he may have had at one point, or maybe even last week, a penis near or about his mouth,
Allegedly.
you cannot call him a queer. The politically correct term is a homosexual.
No, Troy Aikman is a queer.
All right, well, you seem unrepentant. I guess you're not going to even back down from that one, huh?
No, I'm not taking that back. Troy Aikman is a queer.
All right, well, look it. Would you be okay with just calling him not a queer, but let's just call him a gay man? Try it. Try it with me. See if you can do it, Dexter. Gay man. Gay man. Gay man.
Gay man. Gay man. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I am cured of my debility. No, never mind, I'm not. Anyway, he is a sausage peddler of sorts. Gay man, homosexual, whatever you want to call it. It's just a declaration of Mr. Mexter Danley.
All right, Dexter, well, I think we are making some progress here at least. You just have to understand in this day and age and the climate that we're living in, there's a lot of hot button words that you just can't say. All right, I think you feel me on that. And one of them is calling homosexuals queers. All right?
This is a result of my brain injuries of sorts that cause me to say things that I maybe should not say as I say them to be said.
Okay, fair enough. I can try to give you a pass on that one. But unfortunately, you still are our Asshole of the Week. I mean, that's out there. I can't take that back. But just the fact that you had the guts to call in and man up, I mean, all things manly indeed. I got to give you credit for that.
I understand, Bruce. I understand. But I must say, my illiteracy also leads to certain social awkwardnesses in my sentence structures and the usage of verb right.
Okay, well, take it easy. Don't hurt yourself. Just go slow. We can work with that. And we always do enjoy having ex-NFL players on our show.
Thank you, Bruce. I may have some strong concerns about Mr. Troy Aikman, who is queer, but besides him, Dan Marino is a carpetbagger.
Whoa. All right, hold on. Don't be talking crap about Dan the man, all right? Mental illness or not. What do you mean carpetbagger?
He came from up north playing at the University of Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh, delicious. And he came down to Miami and attempted to win Super Bowls by throwing his yardage and such and throwing touchdowns and avoiding interceptions. But he never won the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, that's undeniable. That's a fact. You got me there, Dexter. Now, your Redskins teams back in the glory days had a whole litany of great quarterbacks, and perhaps none greater than Jay Schroeder.
Jay Schroeder, my favorite of all the Peanuts characters. He was wondrous on the pianophone.
Okay, I'm not even sure what that means, but if I'm not mistaken, you actually played with the great Joey T, Joe Theismann. Am I right?
Joe Theismann was worthy of the award that was named after him. He was a fantastic quarterback who suffered a horrendous injury at the hands of Mr. Lawrence Taylor, my hooker.
Oh, yeah, LT. Man, I bet you guys really used to party back in the day. Now, the Redskins, you guys had those three receivers. What did they call those guys? The Smurfs, right?
The Smurfs. My favorite was Gargamel. He was fantastic.
Okay, and what can you tell me about famous ball coach Joe Gibbs?
Coach Gibbs was a fantastic ball coach who established the running game and the necessities for a defensive line, like myself.
Okay, now I'm not sure if you followed his career after football. Of course, he did have that failed comeback attempt. But Joe Gibbs has been rather successful in racing in NASCAR circles. Do you watch much NASCAR?
I am not a big fan of automobiles, nor the showing of cars. Especially, NASCAR, how it's much like the dog and kennel shows, where they just parade the dogs in cars around in circles. I don't quite get that.
Dexter Manley joining us on the FirstOnMonday.com podcast. So, Dexter, what have you been doing with yourself lately? Do you have any new enterprises?
I have been creating a learning agency called the Maxwell Danley Foundation for Literacy. It establishes ways of helping former drug users and victims of NFL brain abuse.
Well, good for you, man. Right on. That sounds like a very noble endeavor. Where can our listeners find your organization? On the internet?
They can find it at nexterdamler.com/paynexter.
Okay. I want to make sure I heard you right. Did you say dextermanley.com?
That's Mr. Nexter Damley. That's my name.
Okay, I know that's your name, but is the website Mexter or Dexter?
Nexter Damley.
Okay, still having a little trouble picking that up. Maybe you could spell it out for the listeners.
Dexter. Well, you know the rest. Nexter Damley.
Okay, I tell you what, we'll just put a link up on the webpage on FirstOnMonday.com if any listener wants to click on that for you. All right, let's talk about your beloved Redskins this season. Not going too well. What's their problem?
Well, I believe Robert Griffin, the three, should recover faster. He needs to take something, some pills or something that will help him not play like such a queer.
All right, there's that word again. I see we've got some more work to do with you, Mr. Manley. All right, now you are, I was going to say proud alum, probably wrong choice of words, but you did play for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. How are they looking this year?
They are looking fantastic. They are throwing the ball of sorts around the Big 12, which consists of, I believe, 14 or 17 teams nowadays. Their system is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. Now, they have been doing a lot better these past few seasons, and I think it all started when T-Bone Pickens started throwing some money around. Did he ever throw any your way?
I believe he has clauses like Santa or so that establish that Mr. Danley can't get any money because he'll spend it on the crack rock.
Dexter Manley joining us on the First and Monday podcast, former NFL great and Washington Redskins player, a.k.a. the Secretary of Defense. Now, Dexter, you do realize that this podcast is attached to a website called firstandmonday.com for all things manly. Have you had a chance to check out our website?
I have checked out your website on the interwebs. It's fantastic. There's special pictures of sorts that help me do the reading. My favorite is the you laugh, you lose, because I lose on everything.
Okay, there's some funny pictures and GIFs up there on You Laugh, You Lose. Do you know what a GIF is?
I like gifts of monetary sorts to PODCAST8, but firstandmonday.com, they make me laugh with many funny videos that are small captions of a larger video in internet form.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a pretty accurate description of what a GIF is. What about memes? You like some memes?
Excuse me?
I was saying internet memes. You strike me as probably a IKEA monkey kind of guy. Is that your favorite?
Oh, IKEA monkey. That funny little football of a monkey in a coat. I tried to buy one of them, but they would not exchange it for my shoes.
Okay. What about Grumpy Cat? Everybody loves Grumpy Cat, right?
Grumpy Cat. He is so funny. By far my favorite canine on the internet. Him and that frown of sorts with the Ohio State hat.
Yeah, I think I did see that one where Grumpy Cat's wearing an Ohio State hat. I think he's got a cock to the side, slanted, Wigger style. I'm not even sure where that pic came from. Now, there are a lot of great recipes on the site for grilling and whatnot. Are you a big foodie?
I do like to eat food, yes. Sometimes after my binges, I need to recuperate by eating many grilled treats. I did enjoy that German recipe that you guys had on there. I believe it was called My Food Eats Your Food. It looked fantastic. It was called Beef Luden.
All right. Now, you say you got to eat after one of your binges, and you've made a couple of references so far in this conversation. Please tell me you're not still doing drugs.
No, and all the damn lips have been clean for years.
All right. Good on you, man. That's so good to hear. Now, while we were talking, I was trying to pull up the website real quick for your foundation, and www.mexterdanley. Yeah, bro, it's not coming up for some reason.
I do not know what to say. You can just directly send me money. That would be just mail it to Mr. Mexter Danley, or find me at your local street corner, hustling goods of sorts that I may have part on.
Okay. Now, speaking of being a Redskins player, there's still a lot of controversy going on. In fact, Roger Goodell is even going to get involved and talk to the owner there in Washington, Dan Snyder, about possibly changing the nickname of the Redskins. There's still a lot of backlash. What are your thoughts?
Goodell is a quill.
You can't say that.
Anywho, I believe the Washington Redskins are a fantastic franchise. The name should be kept. I have no objections to that name. Mr. Danley loves it. Redskins, brown skins, yellow skins, whatever kind of skins. I like to fry them all and eat them.
All right. Now, before we let you run, Dexter Manley, and by the way, again, thanks for joining us on the firstandmonday.com podcast. I'm not sure if you got to listen in earlier to the show, Dexter, but we did interview PC Crisp. He actually played for the Canton Bulldogs way back in 1926, and I talked to him, well, at least while I could, I talked to him a little bit about head trauma. It's a hot topic in the NFL still. What do you think the solution is? Targeting rules? Better helmets, better equipment?
I believe they
What's your
should
take?
pay Mr. Danley, and then second, and third of all, they should fourthly change the helmet structure. I believe they should make the helmets soft bubbles of sorts. Cover your head in a large cone that consists of soft plastic bubbles inflated with air. This will result in players deciding to not use their head because it is not a hard shell. Instead, they will tackle properly
Okay, well, yeah, bubble wrapped helmet. Even with such a apparatus, you still got to train properly. You still have to teach the skill of practicing. Start off in Pop Warner or in high school that you don't want to lead with your head anymore. Even if you're wearing a bubble wrapped helmet, some players are still going to want to lead with their head.
And a player that leads with the head when wearing such a bubble wrapped helmet is a queer.
Is a queer. Yeah, I saw that one coming a mile away. Let's cut him loose. All right, Dexter Manley, everybody. All right, let's try this again. The new music spotlight. Every week on the podcast, we like to feature a new musical artist, somebody you probably have never heard of, but somebody you probably want to hear about. This week, we're going to bring to you a hip-hop artist out of Phoenix, Arizona. This guy blends some different styles together. He has some metal guitars on some tracks that he puts his flow over, and on others, it's a more chill vibe that he does his verses on. We're going to play a couple songs for you here. He goes by the name of The Grim Reaper. That makes me laugh. Anyway, check him out here. This first track is called Rock Crown.
I'm all pro from the waist down. Hit you up with the grim sound. I'm King of Reaper, the pimper, the emperor of rock. I smack jacks like jills and dish pills from my socks. I'm kingly and knightly, both nightly and daily. So throw it away before I pick it like baby. I'm a champ, you're a chump. My home's a castle, yours a dump. You come running every time I pump. Feeling froggy, I suggest you jump, punk. I'm all pro from the waist down. Hit you up with the grim sound. Cut it back like Jim Brown, yeah. I'm wearing a rock crown. I'm all pro from the waist down. Hit you up with the grim sound. Cut it back like Jim Brown, yeah. I'm wearing a rock crown. I'm King Reaper, the sleeper, and deeper the rock. I pack rats like bills and fish steals from my crotch. I'm slightly and slightly, both nightly and daily. So walk away before I hit you like Staley. Well, I'm a player, you're a punk. I'm in the game, you're in the trunk. You come running to reach your funk. Feeling froggy, I suggest you jump, punk. I'm all pro from the waist down. You up with the grim sound. Cut it back like Jim Brown, yeah. I'm wearing a rock crown. I said I'm all pro from the waist down. Hit you up with the grim sound. Cut it back like Jim Brown, yeah. I'm wearing a rock crown.
All right, that is the Grim Reapers' new song, Rock Crown, here on the FirstOfMonday.com New Music Spotlight. It's got a lot more songs that sound pretty similar to that. Got that metal groove. It's kind of fresh. Don't hear too many rappers using that these days. All right, this next song I'm going to play is a lot more chill. If you're not down with the angry, loud music, you'll probably like this one better. And I have a feeling I know why the song is so chill. Probably because it's called We Smoke Weed.
I don't live by your rules or by your laws. All I wanna do is hit my bong. Puts me in a place where I belong. Does it even matter if it's right or wrong? Some people drink coffee, smoke weed. Some people snort speed, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people sip bean, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people don't need, yet we smoke weed. Some people drink coffee, yet we smoke weed. Some people snort speed, yet we smoke weed. Some people sip bean, yet we smoke weed. Some people don't need, yet we smoke weed. With every toke, the grim goes up in smoke. And as I start to choke on this creepy yoke, I'm a valued member of society. Yes, I'm a valued member of the garden variety. Because of the weed you will always need. Me and myself, me and myself, me and my fell, me and my girl, are always well. Me and myself, me and my fell, me and my girl, are always well. Some people drink coffee, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people snort speed, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people sip bean, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people don't need, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people drink coffee, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people snort speed, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people sip bean, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people don't need, yeah, we smoke weed. In the morning I like to wake and bake. Fuck the natural state, it's a place I just can't relate. So don't get irate when I'm in a higher state. Yes, a higher state. State of mind, state of kind. Buds of mine, I'm smoking all the time. State of mind, state of kind. Buds of mine, I'm smoking all the time. Some people drink coffee, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people snort speed, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people sip bean, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people don't need, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people drink coffee, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people snort speed, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people sip bean, yeah, we smoke weed. Some people don't need, yeah, we smoke weed. 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 Yeah, we smoke weed.
I think I got a little contact high off that. Anyway, some good stuff from Phoenix, Arizona, the Grim Reefer on today's show. If you want to get in touch with the Grim, if you want to get any new music from the Grim, hit me up, thebruceharris@gmail.com, and I'll put you in touch with him. All right, I think we've got time to fit in one more caller on this week's episode. Podcast number 8, firstandmonday.com, because the alternative is work. Right now is a return guest. He was on our show a few weeks ago. He used to be on the Jersey Shore. Right now he's working on some new projects for MTV, a new show called GTL, which should be out very soon, in January, I'm told. He's a big Rutgers Scarlet Knight football fan, which is how he found us at First and Monday. And without further ado, please welcome back to the show, DJ Jimmy Jim Jim.
Oh, what's going on, Bruce?
Not much, bro. Thanks for joining us again for the second time. For those that don't remember, first time you were on the show, you gave us your top 5 booty shaking set list. Now, most people don't understand how difficult it is to be a pro DJ. What makes that job so challenging?
What makes it hard is, everybody's got their own opinion. And you can't please everybody. So you got to please the girls who you think you might have a chance with. That's most important.
Well, at fam.com, we specialize in all things manly, and a manly man has a chance with any woman. But we do appreciate you updating the top 5 list. What separates this list from the last one?
Well, twerking's big right now. But what people need to realize is that booty shaking isn't a new invented thing. People have been doing this for years.
Oh, I know that's right. I've seen some old National Geographic documentary footage where there's people out there doing a booty dance trying to make it rain. Literally, because they live in a drought-stricken area. But I'm guessing you're going to take this top 5 in an old-school direction.
A bit old school. We're not going back to, like, the Beatles or anything like that. But it's relatively old school.
All right, man. Fire away.
All right, number 5, we got Freakin' Leak by Petey Pablo. Number 4, we got Get Low by Little John and the East Side Boys. Number 3, Shake Your Ass by Mystical. Number 2, Rump Shaker by Rex and Effects.
Wait, hold on a second. Let's go back to number 3. What was that? Rump Shaker?
Number 3 was Shake Your Ass.
Oh, yeah, Shake Your Ass. How's that one go? The name sounds familiar, but I'm not picturing it.
I think it goes, shake your ass, watch yourself, shake your ass. Show them what you're working with.
Show them what you're working with. Yeah, of course. Now I recall it. Yeah, no wonder I knew that song. My wife and I came out to that at our wedding for our first dance. It's also probably why I forgot about the song. So sorry to interrupt. So number 2 is Rump Shaker, right?
Number 2 is Rump Shaker.
Okay, and now for the number 1 song. Drum roll, please. The new number 1 song on DJ Jimmy Jim Jim's top 5 list of booty shaking music is
Back That Ass Up by Juvenile.
Great choice, my man, DJ Jimmy Jim Jim, and that's why you are a professional DJ. Now, at these clubs that employ you, do you find that a lot of women are twerking to these songs that you're playing?
What was that, Bruce? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, I was just asking, at these clubs that employ you, do you find that you get a lot of positive twerking feedback from the women?
Yeah, you get a lot of positive responses from the twerkers. You also get a lot of awkward white people dancing, which is always entertaining.
Yeah, the awkward white man dance. I think my go-to move is still the sprinkler. But you, man, DJ Jimmy Jim Jim, used to be a cast member on the Jersey Shore, for our listeners that aren't aware of that. I mean, you've got to have moves, right?
Yeah, I got moves, You can take it old school to the Running Man, do some of those. But now we got, like, fist pumps. It's kind of dying. We're trying to keep it alive. But you'll see.
Well, if any man can keep it alive, you're just the man for the job. So what else has been going on, bro?
I was checking out the website, and I saw an article on tips for the craft beer beginner.
Oh, yeah, craft beer.
And first of Monday. First of all, why do you want to get into craft beer if you're truly like a man? You order your Ciroc, you drink some vodka. This craft beer stuff is BS. Not manly at all.
Well, that's an interesting take. We do pride ourselves on all things manly at First and Monday. And from everything we can tell, craft beer is the shit. A lot of real men enjoy drinking it.
Yeah. I know it's supposed to be like the next big market, but this porter has a nice smoky aftertaste. What is that? The last smoky aftertaste I had was from some broad at like 2 a.m.
All right, man. Newport's on her breath does not classify as smoky aftertaste. So what do you like to mix with your vodka?
I like to keep it just like Sprite or maybe some like Long Island iced teas are also good.
All right. Now, Long Island iced tea is a famous drink. I've not heard of a Staten Island iced tea. What would be in that?
The Staten Island iced tea, that would be, I don't know, probably just like the cheapest vodka you could find and some like knockoff Key Foods, cola. I don't know, anything you could find to hide that taste.
Well, there's certainly no accounting for taste, but you are entitled to your opinion. And I'm glad that you've been checking out the website, firstandmonday.com. Check it out all the time, bro. We update shit daily. Now, for the listeners that don't know this about you, Jimmy, you are a huge Rutgers Scarlet Knight football fan. How's the season going to wrap up for you? How's it looking?
Terrible. We are terrible. We can't stop throwing interceptions. We can't stop any sort of spread offense. I've given up on the team. I'm just going to be a Notre Dame fan.
Whoa. Slow down, man. That's harsh words. I need you to back away from the ledge. I'm here for you. It's all right. I mean, things are going to get better.
No, I'm just going to be a Notre Dame fan. My sister's husband's brother went to Notre Dame. So, I got family heritage there.
Interesting. What year did he graduate?
No, he went to a game there.
All right. Well, look at, man, things are going to improve. College football is cyclical. You guys were great. I mean, your coach was chopping wood and all that just a couple seasons ago. I'm sure he's the man to pull you out of the doldrums. And
that was a Shiano thing. We got Kyle Flood. They need to fire him.
Oh, that's right. Coach Kyle Flood. Well, what's his motto or slogan?
I don't know. I think he just kind of mumbles about. It has a bunch of note cards that Shiano wrote him when he left on Post-it notes.
All right. Well, speaking of your boy Shiano, his career's off to a rocky start in the National Football League. Are you buying him or are you selling him?
As much as I love my Grady boy, I don't think that he's going to be there much longer.
Yeah, well, I know the way you Rutgers guys think. You're always shooting for the moon. I bet you're going to tell me that Jerry Jones is going to pick Shiano up next season to coach the Cowboys, right?
No, Jerry Jones is going to pick him up immediately.
Well, I could see the Bucs letting him go and the Cowboys picking him up to give him some help coaching the defense.
Head coach, Greg Shiano, Dallas Cowboys,
right.
America's team.
Okay, of course, head coach. My bad. All right, now, as preposterous as that is, let's just say hypothetically for a moment, how would Coach Shiano handle a guy on the sideline, somebody like Des Bryant that had that meltdown last week?
I think he'd handle it pretty well. Shiano handled Kenny Britt while he's at Rutgers, and that guy's nuttier than a sack full of monkeys. So I think he'll handle it pretty damn well.
Yes, Kenny Britt. He was another fine student athlete there at Rutgers. What did he major in?
I don't know, botany.
Oh, right. Okay, Jim, DJ. Anyway, thanks for giving us a call. You've got my number. Hit me up anytime. Would love to have you back on the show. And do you have any parting words for us before you go?
One, I know Kanye and Kim K just got engaged, but Kim K, if you haven't changed your mind, I'm still available. Even if I'm not available, I will become available. And also, recently is the anniversary of Hurricane Sandy, and a lot of people were affected by that. So keep on keeping on.
All right. Keep on keeping on. Indeed, my man. Thanks for joining us. All right. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the FirstandMonday.com podcast. I am your host, Bruce Harris. And until next week, be good, y'all.
I blame Greasy Neal. I'm Blondie Wallace. He was Italian. Greasy was.